Well, hang on.
Going the distance with local sports. Loretto Mustangs. Summertown Eagles. Lawrence County Wildcats. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody here to a special edition of X Sports Live on a Monday night. It's Fair Week, got a lot of games, a lot of things going down. Joined here right off the get-go by members of the Loretto football team. We got Corbin Reynolds, Clint Seymour. Guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with us here on a Monday night.
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys. I mean, making some history out here at 6-0. Just tell us about the game there on Friday night.
It was simple. We came into the game we prepared like usual, but we didn't have no doubt that we're going to lose. I mean, have no doubt that we're going to win. Like, we're pretty confident.
Yeah, we prepared like we do every single week, and just took care of business.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys go on the road like that, I mean, Hickman County's not an easy road trip, as we all know. It takes a while to get out there. How do you guys prepare for long road trips like that?
I just put my AirPods in and just chill, basically, roll the windows down.
Yeah, everybody was just listening to music just like it was another home game.
All right, so what kind of music do you listen to, man?
I listen to Rod. He just dropped a new album, so, I had to listen to that.
So you guys are hip-hop, rap guys?
Yes, sir.
All right, who's got the craziest taste of music on the team?
Jackson Robertson.
Yes.
Jackson Robertson.
It's terrible.
It's so bad.
What do you listen to?
Everything.
Yeah, like he can go from Lil Wayne to some rapper you never heard of, and like
Hard rock and
Yeah.
heavy metal.
it's crazy.
I kind of get the sense, we've had him on the show for other sports before. He is like the craziest guy in all of Loretto sports. Is that kind of accurate?
Yes, sir.
Well, you guys sitting at 6-0, making history. First time since '96 you guys have started that way. Is it crazy to think that you guys have started the way that you have and have made the history that you've made so far?
I mean, it's crazy to a stance. Like I knew we're gonna be good coming to the season. I've been saying we're gonna go 10-0 since the beginning of the season, but it's crazy that we're making history though. That's the only crazy part to it.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. We're making history, but we always believed in ourselves, and we worked hard enough for it. We just hope to keep this thing rolling.
Expectations were high, coming into this year for you guys. How did you table those and keep yourself, realistic and keep it focused as the season has gone on?
We just don't listen to expectations. We just do what we can do. Just go and perform the best we can.
Yeah, we just perform the best we can and put in work every single week, and we try to keep each other's heads level and not let them get too big.
Yeah, I mean, obviously got another big one coming up here on Thursday. Got East Hickman coming to town. And what's it like having to get prepared for a game here on a short week?
It's different, but we're a different team than we were last year, and I feel like we can adapt to it way easier.
Yeah.
We're just trying to stick to the same schedule as we usually do, same practice schedule. That's about it.
How I know there's a bye week coming up after this week. How much are you guys looking forward to getting a week off after going this strong here?
I don't really like bye weeks. I like to just keep going and keep it going, like keep it moving. But it's good to rest up, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really like them that much. I like to keep playing because I feel like it messes with everybody a little bit not playing 1 week, especially with the 2 big games we got coming up at the end of the year. But we'll figure it out.
So you guys want to play 11 games? You want an 11-game schedule?
I'll be fine with that.
So what's kind of that Lewis County game? We didn't get a chance to talk. I came over for practice a week after. What was that Lewis County game like? Played a really tough team. You guys were able to pull away and hang on to the win after that.
It felt really good to win that game. People were doubting us. Like, you look at the standings, they had Lewis above us, other teams above us, and, like, I'm just saying to people, I'm like, there's, like, just no way, but, we had to just prove them wrong.
Yeah, they kind of disrespected us. They came in beating on our locker room door, blaring music. We don't take that stuff lightly. We showed them.
What'd you do? Put Jackson's music in there just to see what would happen?
Yeah.
Obviously you guys are multiple sports stars. Clint, you were very busy in the summer. Corbin, you were as well. How did you guys balance out the basketball, baseball aspect while still getting ready for football at the same time?
It's not that difficult because we've been doing our whole lives. Like being able to go from one sport to the next is just like second nature to us.
Yeah, we missed out on a couple practices in the summer, but they were still there putting in work, and we was putting it in ourselves.
You guys as receivers, Mason's had to come in for Carter, who unfortunately, tore his ACL, and we certainly hate that for him. But how's Mason stepped into that role and done the job?
I think he stepped up greatly. It's obviously different with another quarterback coming in, but we're fully confident what Mason can do and provide for our team.
Yeah, Mason's coming in and doing good, and he's taking it really well. He's helping Mason out a lot. He's helping coach him. It's helping Mason a lot.
How much do you guys love this offense and love what you can do in the offense?
I love it, but Coach was going to run this key play, and he won't run it. It's crazy.
Yeah, we've been working on it for about 2 years. Ran it about one time. He just never calls it. He'll say, "Fix to run this week." Never runs it.
Just like, Cap, you're not going to run that.
Now, don't give away your playbook.
No, I ain't tell what it was. I just said.
We ain't gonna run it anyway.
Next after this, we have offensive coordinator Bryce Glass is with us. So that's why I said that. But other than the plays you haven't ran, what about the plays you guys have been running and how explosive you guys have been so far this year?
I love it. Even though he don't call the plays he says he's going to call, we're fully confident what he does call. Like, we feel like he has our best interest in mind when he calls the plays. So.
Yeah, he's balancing the run and the pass very well. We got two really good running backs back there, and you got to give them the ball.
Yeah. Now, obviously, your offensive line has done an incredible job this year for you guys. Let's talk about the job they've done up front. We know how good you all are in the passing game, but your running game has been just as equally effective.
Yeah, we're proud of our linemen. They played a big role even in the passing game because if they don't block, the quarterback doesn't have time to throw us the ball. So we're grateful for them.
Yeah, their pass pro is really good. We're trying to get Pope to stop holding as much, No, I'm just kidding. But they're doing really good out there.
That was literally going to be my next question. Who gets in trouble on the offensive line the most? Who has the most holding penalties? You don't have to answer that because they got to protect for you guys. Because
that's
when Coach Glass will call a running play for a receiver right at that same spot.
I mean, Clint's pretty close to up through the holding calls, though.
So. Obviously 6 games into it, and you guys sitting at 6-0, got another game coming up, then your bye week. How do you guys just finally here just keep your focus on the rest of the season, keep going, and knowing that more than likely the postseason's sitting ahead of you, and there could be a potential for a big run after this?
We just got to stay focused because we know even like we're 6-0 right now, that doesn't mean anything. We can lose out, and then we're not set good for the playoffs, and we want to be in a good position for the postseason too. So
yeah, we got to go 1-0 every week, and we know we're trying to get that 1 seed in the region and host a playoff game. We know whenever playoffs start, our record resets, so just trying to stay focused.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us here. And coming up next, a couple more members of the Loretto football team, assistant coach Bryce Glass, and offensive lineman who doesn't hold that much, and Connor Pope. That's next here on X Sports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ.
Are you looking for a non-factory job environment? Livingstone Freight Solutions is a 3PL company that began managing warehouses in Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. With our multiple shifts and experienced management team, our goal is to give you, as an employee, a safe family work environment and competitive wages. We offer a wide variety of employment opportunities from forklift drivers to management level positions. We also strive to offer a competitive benefit package and PTO options. For more information or to apply, visit us at livingstonefs.com or give us a call at 931-269-3255.
Hey everyone, this is Landon Saunders.
And this is Nate Patterson with Cloud9 Fiber.
We're excited to finally be able to offer Lawrenceburg our blazing fast, reliable, and affordable fiber internet services.
If you're looking for a more reliable and more affordable provider, we at Cloud9 Fiber have you covered.
Plans start at $50 a month, and we can offer up to a gigabit to your home or business.
We are excited to be able to offer your first month of service entirely free. We encourage you to sign up on cloud9fiber.com or by calling 931-201-9098 so we can help you make the switch today.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Back here on X Sports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ. Now joined by offensive and defensive lineman Connor Pope and offensive coordinator Bryce Glass. And Bryce, set the record straight. Why aren't you calling the play for Clint and Corbin?
Listen, it is what it is. I mean, it's like they said, man. It's hard to balance. You know, we got three great receivers. We got a great tight end with Hunter Smith, two great backs. There's only one football.
Yeah.
So, but I've already got text messages since they've said it and about needing to run the plays those guys like. So we might throw it in this week.
So which one of your playmakers has the biggest ego?
Oh my,
Clint.
probably Clint, I guess. I mean, it's a whole lot of personalities on offense.
Yeah.
We got offensive linemen who want to run the ball. We got three receivers who think they should touch the ball every play. I mean,
Corbin's shaking his head right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of egos to balance.
Yeah. So I'm guessing your running backs are the most cool, calm guys?
Yeah, because I don't have to deal with them as much. Coach Moore takes all them. I'm like, go down there. Jaden's up there with Clint, Jack, and Corbin. He's got a whole lot of personality, and I don't know if Nicholas says two words the whole game.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun. It's fun. It's a great group of kids.
What's it been like for you to coach these guys and having the season that you've had so far?
It's fun, AJ. It's been a blast. It's been a blessing. I mean, we joke, you know, who gets in trouble, who's the prankster and all that, but there ain't a bad kid in that locker room. I mean, they're just good kids, and they love to work. They love to compete. And it's been a blessing for me to be around these guys and be able to do what I do.
All right, Connor, this offense, it's got to be – I'm a former offensive lineman. I know you can't tell. I've shed about 90 pounds since my playing days. But what's it like with these playmakers that you have and all the stuff you guys are able to do as an offensive line?
You know, it's just we try to give Mason, and when Carter was still, you know, running our Q for us, we try to give him as much time as possible. All you got to really do is float the ball up to any three of our receivers, and there's a pretty good chance they're going to come down with it.
Yeah, this offensive line's been big for you this year, Bryce, as far as, you know, you're around the 200-yard mark, running it, 200-yard mark, throwing it.
Yeah.
It's got to be a lot of fun.
And I tell them every week, don't be happy with being, you know, the best this week. You know, don't be happy with being the best O-line that we are right now. You know, we got to be better down the road. And I harp on the O-line a lot, probably more than I should. I think before Hickman County, we only gave up 2 sacks before the Hickman County game, and they sacked our young Q a couple times, and we had a couple bad snaps after Harley McMasters got hurt. But before then, our O-line's been very impressive this year in the run game and pass game. I mean, it's very impressive what they've been able to do.
So for both of you guys, I know losing Carter was big, and you hated for him, senior year to go down with the torn ACL. But for both of you, just talking about the job that Mason has done, stepping in, and almost like a seamless transition, him coming in there because you guys haven't missed a beat.
Mason's he's a really good quarterback. He's right there with Carter. He just doesn't see the field as well as Carter does, but Carter's right there with him, helping him step by step, giving him advice and kind of trying to help lead him to lead the team further this season.
Yeah. Bryce?
And I didn't get much sleep from Friday when Carter got hurt until we found out. And then I didn't get much sleep after we found out. But Carter's been amazing through this whole process. Even before we knew for sure that it was torn, he showed up Monday. Him and Mason showed up Monday morning at school, 7 o'clock, watching film together. Carter just preparing him for the role he's wanted to step into. And it's been awesome. Mason, you couldn't ask for anything else better than that kid's done. I mean, he threw for 284 yards on 8 completions the other night. And I think it speaks volume for what we put around him with the O-line, with the receivers, with the running backs. We're not asking him to, stand in the pocket and do a lot of stuff. Just get the ball out to the playmakers and let them do their job. And Mason's a playmaker in himself. Yeah. His run game in Hickman was impressive. He got the long touchdown call back for a hold. But
it wasn't me.
Okay. Just making sure.
Him,
you made a face like it was you.
I just harp on him a lot about the holding. But he brings some stuff to the table that Carter didn't do as well, and Carter did some stuff better than Mason did. But I'm not upset with our quarterback situation at all. Mason's played his tail off. He's throwing the ball really, really well. He's reading the RPOs good, and that's something that a lot of people in the stands don't get to see. It's not that we're just dropping back, hey, throw it to this guy.
Right.
He's having to read linebackers, having to read safeties in the RPO game, and he's done an outstanding job with it. So very, very pleased with the job he's done.
Is Carter a natural coach, almost like it runs in the family?
Yeah, and that's what Carter wants to do after he gets done with college, is get into coaching, and that's what Coach Daniel told him, well, you're going to get an early start.
Yeah.
But even the other night at Lewis, he had y'all pulled up on his phone, and he's like, Coach, this is what they're doing, and he was a big help on the sidelines. So it's been good in that aspect. He's taking on that role.
Yeah, Connor, for both of you guys at 6-0, knowing that you guys, it's your best start since 1996. What's it like to be a part of this history-making run that you guys are on right now?
It's amazing, just this being my senior year and getting to play the way that our team's playing and have the record we have, and it's just amazing going from my first 3 years from not doing too hot and being right there and not being able to pull it off, and then just being able to pull it all together this year.
Yeah, and for Bryce, for you as a coach, it's got to be fun.
It's unreal. I love the buzz that these kids have got going, and not just in Loretto, in Lawrence County as a whole. Yeah. I can't go to the store or anywhere without, hey, man, Coach, great job, keep rolling, So, I love it for these kids to put their own mark on history. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and for both of you guys, you're not just busy in football, you're busy with baseball, and you coach everything. I don't know when you're probably coaching like bowling or underwater basket weaving at this point, but how do you guys just balance just how busy you are throughout this season, throughout the summer, all of those things?
One sport at a time. But in summer, you're practicing more than one sport. You got to split your time up. But when football hits for me, man, it's all football. It's all you practice for. It's all you eat, sleep, breathe. And then when baseball rolls around, that's all baseball is. You don't worry about nothing else.
Yeah, right.
Man, it's the same. Summer's crazy because we'll go to a morning football practice, go to evening basketball practice, and almost every day. But, dude, I work for some great guys. Coach Tips don't expect me to do basketball stuff during football season. Coach Darwin don't expect me to do softball stuff during basketball season. Yeah. So, I work for some good guys who allow me to put 100% effort into whatever we're doing during that season. So.
Yeah. You guys sort of alluded to it. What's the community been like? I mean, because every time I go there, I can feel the buzz. I mean, they're talking about you guys here in Lawrenceburg all the time. I mean, I look at our views. You guys have our highest view count on your games. What's the community support been like so far?
I can't even go into, Subway or anything in Laredo without a worker or just someone else walking in. Hey, man, good game. Y'all doing good. Keep it going. It's just – it's amazing. It's just a blessing is all it is.
Yeah. Man, it's awesome. I love it. I'm excited for these kids to get to experience, the buzz that they are making. I'm friends with a lot of the 91 guys that, had the 10-0 season. Even the 92 team that, started off 6-0, the 96 team. I'm friends with a bunch of those guys who played on them teams. And they're excited for these kids. And that's what it's all about, man. I mean, these kids go in every Friday night, play their tail off, and then, Clint and Corbin and a bunch of them, after the Lewis County game 2 weeks ago, we're in the locker room like, hey, y'all be safe going home. Coach, we're not going home. We're going to the gym. And they went and got a lift in after we just played a football game.
You guys are crazy.
These kids are different, man, and that's what I tell everybody, these kids are just different. And it's awesome, and the community's been great. Student section has been great. I mean, if you come to one of our games, we got one of the biggest student sections around, and dude, they're pumped up there. They're playing music, shooting off confetti and everything else. So, I mean, it's amazing the support that these guys are getting, and well-deserved.
And you guys are making a buzz across the border, too. I went to UNA's game on Saturday, and the first moment I got in the press box, someone stopped me and goes, man, that Loretto bunch is for real. So, I mean, if they're talking about you at a Division I press box, that means you guys are doing something pretty good. So, Connor kind of alluded to it off the air. You a bit of a trash talker out there?
Just mildly.
Mildly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that depends on what your definition of mild is.
So do you have to be provoked, or you just go right into it from the get-go?
I plead the fifth.
Are you like this in baseball too, as a catcher?
Nah, the umpire's right behind you in baseball. I can't say nothing.
So as alluding to that as a catcher, how much does catching kind of prepare you for being an offensive lineman? Because there's an equals amount of toughness you got to have in both sports.
I guess it's more just keeping my legs in shape. Going from lineman, having to work out your legs all the time, using them, driving. To baseball, setting up in the stance, primary, secondary stances. Just football, being a lineman helps my legs more than anything. I don't get as tired faster, just like when we're in baseball. I'm playing, 3-4 games a week behind the plate, most of them back to back. And I'm happy that I have football and not make my legs as tired.
Who's your favorite pitcher to catch?
Clint.
Clint? Is it not? It's not because he's just here, right?
Nah, when I call it, it's if I want it somewhere, it's gonna be there. Unless he's mad, then he just cuts it loose, and it's 92, way high.
I think I've been there for a couple of those games where Clint gets mad. Next thing you know, it's mid-90s that might end up in the third row sometimes. So you guys, finishing up here, Thursday night game, how much do you guys adjust? I know it's just a day forward, but, in preparation, that you lose 24 hours of preparation when you play a game on a Thursday night.
We got a pretty unique practice schedule. We only hit on Tuesdays.
Right.
We're full pads on Tuesdays and Tuesdays only. And the rest of it's, mental reps and on air. So it bumps us up. We do lose a walkthrough day because usually we walk through on Thursday. But AJ, like I've told everybody, this group's different. They hate to lose just as much as they love to win. So I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to show up Thursday ready to go.
Got it.
Yeah, Coach Glass is right. Losing that walkthrough day, I feel like it's going to mess with us just a little bit. But as long as we play the football we can play, we should be fine.
Finally, for you guys, obviously off to this great historic start. How do you keep your focus on the straight and narrow and finish this thing out right?
Go ahead, Con.
Just grind it out. You just got to keep chasing after that 10-0 is the end goal. But You know, can't be 10-0 without being 7-0.
That's true.
And I told them after week 5, so guys, there's a bunch of teams right now that's 5-0. It's going into the season 5-5. So
right.
you got to go one game at a time and grind every day. Monday through Friday we got to grind and work on getting better and improving on what we need to improve on, and they'll get where they want to be if they keep doing that like they have been.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you for joining us here on X Sports Live, and good luck there on Thursday night throughout the rest of the season.
Appreciate you having us.
Thank you.
AJ.
Coming up next, I'm going to go through some NFL and college football and have my rant and close out the show. That's next here on X Sports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ.
Fall on the Hill returns to Minor Hill October 7th from 2 to 8 with live music all day, vendors, hay rides, a petting zoo, pony wagon rides, a pop-up paint party, face painting, putt-putt golf, a jams and jellies contest, inflatables, and much more. Plus, don't miss the fireworks show at 8 p.m. Fall on the Hill 2023, brought to you by Minor Hill Alliance and Liquor World. Enjoy a day full of awesome music from Brace Killen, Damon Schrader, Josh Reisner, and Salem Rats. Armbands are $5. Don't miss Fall on the Hill, October 7th from 2 to 8 at 165 Ray Branch Road in Minor Hill, Tennessee.
Whether you're shopping in Lawrenceburg, Loretto, Summertown, or Mount Pleasant, Tegan's Food Stores has you covered with the best quality food at the best prices. From Cash Saver to Superama and CB Foods, stop by your neighborhood Tegan's Food Store today.
Hi, my name is Asha. I go to Lawrenceburg Technical College, and I moved here a year ago from California. I wanted to be a cosmetologist and study hair, nails, and makeup. You should come join us at Lawrenceburg Technical College and learn all about cosmetology.
If there ever was such a thing as a company that could do almost everything, well, Teneke Properties is it. These guys know how to completely transform your existing home into something totally new, or can do it for you room by room. Need a new bathroom or kitchen? What about a fresh coat of paint or a new floor? Looking for dirt work? Teneke has you covered. Oh, and you can even rent a dumpster from them too. That's Teneke Properties. Visit Teneke.com or phone 931-244-4602. Jack Davis Insurance, located at 201 West Gain Street in Lawrenceburg, has you covered through life's obstacles. Facing those challenges is easier together. That's why Jack Davis specializes in group insurance. Cover the most valuable aspect of your business, your employees, with coverage for life, accident, cancer, critical illness, short-term disability, dental, and vision. Jack Davis can customize to meet every need. Serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1987. Contact Jack Davis Insurance today at 931-242-5225.
Truett's Garage Doors in Leoma, Tennessee is your one-stop for new garage door installations for all commercial and residential buildings, plus they offer full service on all existing doors. Need a new garage door opener? Truett's Garage Doors has you covered. As an Amar Gold and LiftMaster dealer, Truett's Garage Doors offers the best pricing anywhere in the area. A family-owned and operated business, Truett's Garage Doors has been helping Tennessee and Alabama residents since 1999. Call the pros today at Truett's Garage Doors, 931-201-6464. Don't just find a job, find a career with Resource MFG. The team at Resource MFG in Lawrenceburg has the resources and experience to find you a full or part-time position right away. Now recruiting for open positions in Lawrence, Giles, and Murray counties. Whether you're entering the workforce for the first time or looking to take your career to the next level, let your journey begin with Resource MFG. Located at 300 Ellingson Street in Lawrenceburg. Phone 931-570-2111 to jumpstart your career today. Great food is just a short drive to Heinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome back here to X Sports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ. I'm running solo here on our final segment of the show as I'm going to recap some of the stuff that's happened in high school sports, college football, and the NFL as well. Dusty Kaiser with his daughter today during the regional golf tournament. Heard they did pretty well over there. The boys won it and had some high finishers as well. We'll recap that a little bit later. And Clint Brazier is joining his daughter in Collinwood tonight. He's calling those games. And also we have Loretto Volleyball. They have senior night going on against Lewis County right now. Just a little bit of recap of what happened last week as far as high school football goes. We already had the Loretto guys on and talking about their big win. They got a game against East Hickman coming up on Friday. Lawrence County, man, went out and took care of business against Spring Hill. That was kind of a lot of people thought was going to be a 50-50 game, but man, Wildcats, it got a little hairy there towards the end of the first half, but man, that bunch, Latavion Everly, Carter Pettigrew, Ian Clayton, we can go on down the line. The defense only giving up one score in 4 tries in the red zone for Spring Hill. That offensive line did some big work. I mean, that group put on an impressive performance. Go to Tullahoma on Friday. Hey, that's a winnable game. Any game in this region is winnable. They win that, man. They're sitting at 3-1 in the region. More than likely, that puts them into the playoffs. This team is playing with a lot of confidence. I was at practice today, feeling pretty good about those guys as they go into Friday night over at Tullahoma. They won there a year ago. Got some of the same guys back, not as many skill players as they've had in the past, especially off a team that won a state championship 2 years ago. So see what happens on Friday. Got a feel for Summertown, man. That bunch is playing their rear ends off. Had a big lead against Harpeth. Unfortunately, fell late in that game. But, man, those guys have fought really, really hard. They're learning. I mean, give all the credit to that senior class. 4 head coaches in 4 years. And make no mistake about it, there's some people in that community, some of those assistant coaches, the Jason Busbys of the world that have stuck around through all of these transitions, and the kids have held it together. Unfortunately, there's been some adults that have let them down. And the kids and the adults who are around that program every day are doing a fantastic job. Might not show up in the win column every day, but those guys are doing amazing. Got to give a lot of credit to them and a lot of credit to Dan Winfrey. He's come in with like 2 days' notice to get ready for a season, and I think he's doing a good job and building a program over there. So now heading over to Wayne County. Man, Collinwood's for real, guys. Their only losses to this bunch you just had up here. That group is for real. They're big, they're physical, they can run the football, they can take advantage. They're sitting at 4-1 right now. They go to Richland this week, and Richland was able to bounce back at Huntland, so that's going to be a big region game for both of those sides. And Wayne County, back-to-back wins. They go to McEwen, win big. Eagleville comes to them, they win big. So, hey, things are moving there in Wayne County. We got some good football, and then, of course, Lewis County taking care of business against Mount Pleasant, so that puts them in second place there in the region. You got Loretto, of course, at top, and a lot of people are going to be fighting for that 4th spot because more than likely to be Loretto, Lewis County, Mount Pleasant. I mean, Mount Pleasant's still a really, really good football team. They got a really tough test on Friday night. So, hey, Summertown could go on a run here, wins a few games. They got Waverly coming up on Friday, so certainly a chance to win there. College football-wise, even though they didn't win Saturday, North Alabama took the defending OVC champions and had them up 21-10 at halftime. They have a team currently ranked in the top 25 that they beat in Chattanooga. Brent Dearman's doing a great job at North Alabama. If you haven't checked them out, which I know a lot of people in this area haven't, go watch them play. It's good, it's fun, it's exciting football. Some of your guys might want to go play over there one day. I mean, it is Division I. It's just 45 minutes down the road. Got another conference game against Eastern Kentucky, a game that went into double overtime last year, and not like 10-7 like Big Ten Iowa football. We're talking big. We're talking like in the 50s, so that can certainly happen again. More college football, obviously we knew what Tennessee was going to do. They were going to come out. They're going to take care of business against UTSA. A more impressive win, I think that's going to show up down the road. UTSA is beat up. They didn't have their normal starting quarterback who's been there for a decade. I think that win will look better as the season goes down the road. Big test, man. South Carolina's on fire right now. Other than that opening week, I think North Carolina is a whole lot better than we give them credit for. Spencer Rattler played great in that game, and he's played great ever since. But I think the Vols, they got some revenge on the mind. Maybe Danny White was hinting at they might break out the dark uniforms for this game. It is going to be a night game against the Gamecocks. Maybe a whole lot of revenge on the mind. They remember how much Spencer Rattler was, he was talking in the post game. He was talking during the game. He loves to talk. He loves to hear the sound of his own voice. So we'll see how that plays out. Of course, Alabama took care of business against Ole Miss like that wasn't already a formality. Lane Kiffin can't coach in big games, people. He just can't. I mean, he just can't. If there's a ranked number beside the team they're playing, he's probably going to lose. That was his case when he was the head coach. No, I think they did beat someone ranked. I wish I had people here to back up my claims, but I think he beat maybe one or two ranked teams at Tennessee, but I'm pretty sure didn't beat anybody ranked when he was at USC. Certainly didn't beat anybody ranked when he was at FAU. He got that handed to him a few times and hasn't exactly been really doing that outside of a bad Kentucky team that came in there on a Saturday afternoon and turned the ball over 12 times. So there ain't no big game Lane. That doesn't exist. Lane Kiffin cannot coach in big games. Alabama's got Mississippi State coming up next. That team can put up points. They've identity changed. They don't throw 50 times. Now they run it 50 times, but they can still put up points. They still got playmakers. It is the SEC, but that game isn't home for Alabama. So, I mean, Nick Saban's probably going to win that game just because they got better players. I'm probably wrong about that, and that's probably going to put me on freezing cold takes, but it is what it is. As we take a look at the rest of the college football schedule, one thing I do want to point out, man, Deion Sanders came back to earth, didn't he, guys? I mean, all that talking, all that stuff they did at Oregon, all those wins against mediocre teams, well, they faced a good one. Not just a team that could potentially win a really good Pac-12. We're talking about potentially a college football playoff team. And Oregon made it known from the get-go that they weren't messing around. Now, I know there was a lot of the stomping on the O and all the videos. Guys, that game was going to be that final score, whether or not they did that or not. They have been motivated since Deion Sanders even beat Nebraska. They would have been motivated even if Colorado would have lost to Colorado State. They were coming in to make a statement. They made it from the get-go. Colorado had no chance. They look like the Colorado teams of the past that went into Autzen Stadium. Oregon took care of business. And next up for Colorado, well, they host USC. And big noon Saturday, big noon kickoff is going to be there. So hopefully that's the last time we have to hear from Colorado because, looking at their schedule, it's a pretty tough schedule. I mean, more than likely, they're going to be lucky to make a bowl game. They'll probably win 6-7 games. There's enough winnable games out there. So on Friday night, big one in the Pac-12, Utah taking on Oregon State. Utah was one of my playoff picks. Still playing good. Didn't play great against UCLA offensively, but that defense is for real, guys. Really good. Oregon State trying to bounce back. Scored a lot of points against Washington State. Even tried to make a 3-touchdown comeback at the end. Just didn't work out for them. Penn State going to Northwestern. I mean, Northwestern just came back from a 3-touchdown deficit and beat Minnesota. By the way, P.J. Fleck's a disaster. Probably going to get fired at Minnesota at the end of the day. Already mentioned USC, Colorado. We got Kentucky. We got Florida at Kentucky. Kentucky's undefeated. That's a trap game for Florida. I don't even know if you want to call it a trap game. Most people probably don't even think Florida should be ranked. Kentucky's a whole lot better than what I anticipated they were going to be. I think Kentucky wins that game, quite honestly. Georgia at Auburn. I think Georgia got their wake-up call a couple weeks ago. UAB did play them tough, but I think Auburn's been kind of on the fence, kind of dangling around a little bit. Their offense has not looked good at all under Hugh Freeze, even against lesser opponents. So I think Georgia's going to go in there and take care of business. Michigan against Nebraska. Michigan's going to have it really easy till they get to Penn State, and then after that, Ohio State. They're pretty much going to win 10, 11 games. You can just chalk it up to that. Kansas at Texas, that's going to be a lot of fun. I don't think Texas is ready for what Kansas can do. However, I think Texas is so much better defensively than even I give them credit for. Hate to say it. I know it, Michael. I know you're watching. I know you're like, yeah, I know. But it may. I mean, Kansas has gone in there and won before with lesser talent. It could happen. It is Texas. Texas is going to be Texas. And some point. Missouri at Vanderbilt, we already know Missouri's going to win that one. Speaking of big game, Lane, he's got LSU coming to town here on Saturday. I think LSU wins that game. It just is what it is. Lane does not coach well in big games, even in his own house. I mean, it just is what it is. Also a big one, we got Notre Dame at Duke. Duke has got maybe the best quarterback in the country, might be the first overall pick, just depending on what the NFL situation is. I think Duke wins that one. I've been to Wallace Wade Stadium a couple times. Underrated venue, especially when the team is good. Mike Elko's got that thing rolling. I think Notre Dame got exposed a lot against Ohio State. I'm going to talk about their game later. That's going to be part of my rant. And we mentioned Bama and Mississippi State. Washington and Arizona. Washington, I think it's between them and Utah who's going to win the Pac-12 because I think they both are going to take care of USC and Colorado. So not much to talk about there. Let's get into the NFL a bit. Titans are awful. And the Cleveland Browns, even with their quarterback throwing the ball backwards, Deshaun Watson, you can't take 2 years off of football, whether or not you meant to or not. And by his actions, he totally meant to. I mean, that guy is – he's guilty. I mean, we all know he's guilty by this point. But, however, I mean, they did not look good at all. The Titans did against the Browns. The Browns are much improved. That defense, I think, is what's carrying them through. I mean, I watched a bulk of that game. That offensive line can't protect a soul. I mean, you could put their children behind them and say protect them with their life, and they probably couldn't do it. We'd have a lot of sack kids. Myles Garrett would be the daddy of a lot of kids after that if that were the case. You know, the Lions back at 2-1, taking care against the Falcons. Man, the Packers, big come-from-behind win. Man, Saints are a disaster. They might be 2-1, but that might be the most overrated 2-1 in the NFL. Packers were down 17-0 going into the fourth quarter. Saints scored all their points there. That was a big win. What a choke job by the Vikings against the Chargers. By the way, why is the Chargers coach going for it on 4th and short from his own 24? I mean, hello, dude. Bill Belichick tried that and it didn't work. He did that against Peyton Manning with Tom Brady and it didn't work. You don't have Tom Brady, dude. Ain't going to work. You got lucky. Kirk Cousins is the other quarterback, which, by the way, my NFC Championship game, half of it's looking great. My Niners at 3-0. The other half with the Vikings, not looking good at all. Patriots got on the board. The Jets are a disaster. Defensively, they only gave up 15 points. All they need is somebody that can score at least 20 points a game, and that team will win 12, 11 games. However, they got Zach Wilson. And they got from, I know on very trusty sources, they got a lot of guys that they're reaching out to that don't want to come play in New York because the offensive line is terrible. Your defense is great, and you got a head coach that's clueless about offense, and he's a defensive guy. You think he would know something about offense. He doesn't. Bills got back on the right track. That week one was really rough, but they're back on the right track. Ravens blew a lead to the Colts, won that game, and the Colts won that in overtime. Seattle looking pretty good. Whew. Chiefs destroyed the Bears. By the way, I'm kind of a fan of the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing. She needs, here I am acting like I know her. I don't know her, but she needs a Travis Kelce in her life. Dude, he seems like a really good dude. I love him and his brother's podcast. They seem like normal guys, good guys. So she needs a good guy. She doesn't need to be dating, dudes that wear dresses and some of the style and DJs. Never date a DJ. That should be like rule number 1. Female or male, never date a DJ, ever. Cardinals beat the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys, what is it about teams from Texas that just make you go, they're going to mess up at some point, right? So I don't believe in Dak Prescott. I mean, that's a complete ESPN, national media made-up narrative that the Cowboys are going to be great. They're Super Bowl contenders. They're going to go to San Francisco in a couple of weeks and get their new what's handed to them. So, and the Cardinals kind of, if you watch that game, the Cardinals kind of had a good blueprint of how to stop Dak Prescott, which is pretty easy. Make him complete easy passes or just a pass on the run. He can't do any of that, especially under pressure. Dak's not a good come-from-behind quarterback, never has been, never will be. His days at Mississippi State should have told you that. And the Steelers picking up a win against the Raiders. Jimmy G's going to be Jimmy G. He's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad. Trust me, my Niners, just like Colin Kaepernick, we don't miss him a lot. So I'm going to go to my rant. I'm going to go back into the world of college football. So if you watch the game between Ohio State and Notre Dame on Saturday night, unfortunately, I caught the very tail end because I was covering UNA's game. However, I've went back and watched that. And this, my critique here and what I'm going to say, is not meant for high school coaches. It's not meant for middle school coaches, Little League, AAU, on down the line. This is for high-level Division I coaches and NFL coaches, the ones that, you know, are in the six figures and some in the seven, some in maybe in the eight-figure range when it comes to pay. How in the world do you make that much money? You do all that preparation. Oh, everyone talks that you come in at 4 a.m. and you're doing all this film study, that you have 10 players on the field, not for just the final play, the final 2 plays. How, no one noticed that in the booth, and then they realized it after Ohio State snapped it. And then when you look at the picture, when they're counting and it's on the 1 yard line, they have one guy who had a hand near the line of scrimmage. Everybody else was lined up in the end zone. And don't get on Ryan Day about his toughness thing. He didn't know that Notre Dame only had 10 players, and especially on the field when the adrenaline running. He was pumped up, you know. But again, what's Lou Holtz supposed to do? Pick Ohio State and say they're the toughest team in the country? No, that's not how any of this works. However, how in the world do you have just 10 players for 2 plays with your season on the line, potentially your college football playoff hopes on the line? Because that team you're playing next is really good in Duke, might even be better than Ohio State. We'll find out on Saturday night that you have just 10 players. I Googled today when I had some off time and my child wasn't ripping open a whole bag of goldfish and dumping it on the ground. Gotta love a 1-year-old he's already in his terrible twos. His mother and I completely agree about that. However, I was doing some research. You know how often that happens? That wasn't an issue a couple decades ago when these guys weren't making millions to be coaches. That wasn't the case. They are now, and it's happening more often. Remember the Florida State Auburn National Championship game when Florida State took a kick back to tie the game from Auburn? Guess how many players Auburn had on the field? 9 in a national championship game. How do you do that? I just listened to a Detroit radio host talk about all the mess-ups they've had over the years. They had a big game, could have made the playoffs on it, only had 9 on the field, and the Rams converted on a first down play on 4th down. One of many examples. I can think of times I've covered West Virginia, Marshall, Virginia Tech, where they never had enough players on the field. Whether your schemes are too complicated, whether your verbiage is too complicated, whether your you just have one too many player personnel packages. I don't know what it is. But something is going wrong when you can't get the basic thing. Forget about scheme. Forget about showing up at 4 a.m. I don't want to hear about how hard your job is when the one thing you got to do is make sure you got 11 on the field. If you can't get 11 on the field, then you got issues. A lot of issues from top to bottom. Again, that's not a critique of high school coaches, middle school coaches, none of that. They've got a lot more on their plate than college coaches. College coaches recruit and coach football. High school coaches teach. They teach, fundraise, take care of the field, take care of the equipment, wash the equipment, and they got to coach. Middle school coaches the same route. So this is not a critique at all of high school coaches. That happens at the D2 and the D3 and the NAIA level as well. This is for the high-paid Division I coaches and the NFL coaches. You can't get 11 guys on the field. Why are you coaching? Okay? You deserve all the criticism you can get. I don't care how hard you say your job is. Yes, it's not as easy as it looks, but you know what it's also not? It ain't rocket surgery. Ain't rocket science. I mix brain surgery and rocket science at the same time. It's not brain surgery. You're not, moving lobes and putting this, that, and snipping around in someone's brain. You're calling a football game. And if you can't get 11 on the field, you probably should go sell insurance. I don't care how much money you're making. Okay. Rant over. I've talked for probably way longer than I thought I would. Love to thank the guys here at Loretto for showing up tonight. I had to call an audible, bring my own gear here. They were so patient. I thank them so much. I'm so excited for everything we got going down. We had the Move Exports Live to this week. Got all kinds of volleyball going on tomorrow. All 3 teams are in action. Wednesday, big one at the Ralph. If you got nothing to do, if you've already been to the fair, go watch Lawrence County and Summertown at the Ralph. Hey, we got new stands. So, they had to move the game to this Wednesday because of the new stands. Then Thursday, Loretto's playing East Hickman. If you got nothing to do, go to that. Or we got volleyball all around the area. And, of course, Lawrence County at Tullahoma on Friday, Summertown at Waverly Central on Friday as well. And then UNA back at home taking on Eastern Kentucky on Saturday night. So if you don't have a lot to do, if you've already been to the fair, and go to the fair too. The food's amazing. That's the only reason I go, and I think the majority of people goes. The food's amazing everywhere. A lot of people working their tails off making some good food. So this is AJ Good here from Exports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ. Have a great evening, and we'll see you guys next week, hopefully next Wednesday.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.